Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, anglers of all ages, welcome to this week's Tackle Box. My name is JaxyBeard. It is a pleasure to have you here. It's been a little bit of a stint since we've been back, and I apologize, but I'm hale and healthy. And I got these two fine gentlemen with me today. I think it's going to be a good one. Mr. Rushy, Mr. Gas, thank you for coming to join us. Excited to have you here.
Good
Hello.
to be back. As you said, it's been a while, hasn't it?
It has.
It's been a while since we were last on.
Well, I had a man cold. You have to call my mom to ask about that, but you know how that goes. You know. We got through it. Good to see everybody in chat. Hello, welcome. Thank you for coming to hang out. We got a pretty fun stream planned. Actually, we got some things to talk about. Hopefully, we're not going to get in trouble for what we talk about. We're going to go and hit some largemouth bass. Much to align with what's happening this week in King of the Catch. Interesting watching how that's unfolding. If you haven't done so, come and get involved in the Discord. You'll find the links in the descriptions down below. And we'd love to have you, see what you guys can pull in. Maybe you'll be the new King of the Catch for the week. Let's get after it. Where do you boys want to go? So, man, I'm really pumped. I put a fair bit of time into my fishing while I was off. I had a really, really good time with it. So I'm looking forward to getting after these largemouth. What do you think? You guys know the way.
Oh yeah, we know a good couple of spots. I mean, we have all the data. We see where everyone's catching their fish, and we know where they spawn. So, not to give the game away, but we'll head to the northwest of the lake here, and there's a good few spots up there that I think we can get some decent sized largemouth bass.
So great idea. Let's not go to where the diamonds are.
Yeah. Let's not give the game away there.
No.
And spawn now as well. They do definitely spawn.
Oh yes. Oh, we've been seeing them actually. That's been some of the recent updates and the adjustments that you guys have made. Some species seem to be a little more difficult than others, but it's fantastic seeing those big catches coming in. Like they're really working for them, which creates that like this is a prize. I love watching it. You guys,
yeah, and we've been keenly watching the diamond catches as well, because again we track everything on the server side, so we can see, where you're catching them, how often you're catching them, how often they're spawning inside the worlds, and I think we've got a much better balance since the last patch. Norway in particular, they're much easier to catch there, and we've balanced out some of the species in Golden Ridge. And for the next update, we're also making a couple of tweaks. I think specifically around the Zander and maybe the Sauger. I don't have the stuff off the top of my head, but we are making some tweaks to just a couple more, just to change some of the rates. Again, it's one of those things, that constant iteration, the feedback that we see in Discord, and also looking at the data and making sure we're getting the right level, so it feels fair and balanced.
well, I know that's appreciated. I've been watching it happen and finding that balance, and it's like as you say, the last patch, there was that wasn't even the last one. It was the one before that, wasn't it? Where the diamond spawn rates were adjusted in Norway, right? And then you're saying we have another one coming on, this big one coming up.
Yeah, we realised after looking at the data there was a bit of an issue with the diamond spawns on GRR, which was quickly resolved. But now that we're getting the data, we're seeing like the certain ones getting caught more than others. We're taking feedback from Discord and Steam forums and stuff like that, as well as checking the data to make sure they're all nice and evenly matched, and players can enjoy catching all the different types of diamonds. So yeah, keep that feedback coming, because it's all good. We keep tweaking and keep balancing it to get the game where it needs to be.
Yeah, and on that kind of subject with tweaking and balancing, one of the things that we've seen a lot of feedback on is the kind of debate and low compatibility. People are finding that a bit too often that any fish will go for any bait or lure, and it becomes hard if you're trying to target a specific species or a specific rank. So we've been doing a good chunk of tuning in those areas to allow you to target more specifically the fish you're after. So I think that's going to go down quite well. That's for our next update, and that's feeling pretty good. In some respects, it makes it slightly harder in some instances just to get any old fish, but I think it makes it a lot better in particular if you know what you're going for.
Right. Yeah, I guess that's. And a lot of this are things that our community discovers as they go. It's really cool watching it happen, and speaking of community, my friends, if you're not involved, again, I can't stress the Discord. You guys have seen it in game, the links there. We have all this feedback, all the areas for feedback, your suggestions and such. But there was an announcement today, which I think we should talk a little bit about before we go on to too much else. The Player Council. Pretty cool idea, really getting the community involved. If you guys didn't see it, again, there's a link in the Discord. You'll find it across our socials. What do you guys think about that? It's a really I love the idea of getting the community involved even further.
Yeah, the main drive behind this is that we want players to be able to get their hands-on development builds to the game and give us more direct feedback, so that we can be making tweaks and changes with that kind of informed, opinions from those people who are like really invested in the game. So I think it's going to be fantastic to have the player council with plenty of players who can play our builds early, get their hands on features before they come out, and give us the feedback before it goes live.
Excellent. It is. Hagster, what's up, brother? It is a fantastic idea. You guys have seen we try to be as open as we can. We're not a company that's going to make a game that we want to make and not listen to anybody. As you've seen, especially with these devs, it's about what you guys want. So this player council is the next step in that direction. I'm excited for it, and what it looks like. You guys will see more as it transpires over the next week or two here. What I would recommend, if you're interested in doing so, is follow the link off of the posts. It's a short survey, a little bit of info to put in there. Of course, there's the disclaimers. And then we're going to go through a whole process on who we get in. It's going to be a limited amount, but it's a sizable amount. So, but I don't have any numbers to divulge as of yet. How strict is the acceptance rate on when applying? Well, so I'm not the one who's going to be vetting, so to speak. I mean, every single application's going to be looked at. So just fill that out, and we're going to have to see how that unfolds. We have a team that's managing this to get it created and started up. And of course, I'll be there. What's up, Lawrence? Good to see you all. What's happening? Is it possible to get into the player council being 18 plus? No, unfortunately, that is one of the requirements. You must be 18 plus, and that has to do with the NDA, the non-disclosure agreement that you have to sign, which is the only reason for this, but it is an important one. So those are just rules that we have to play by, not that we're making. Captain Burr, hello, welcome. Yes, exactly. As Ava says, you need to be at least 18 to get it.
Yeah, it's I think we're really excited about it on the dev team, though. It's something that we've wanted to try and push for a while to get a little bit more involved with the community. So it's not just responses on Discord and Steam and things like that, but really kind of get you folks involved in like the next features that we're going to bring to the game, and tune and balance them, which will overall make it a better game for everyone, but also give people who are really interested in the development side of the game as well. It gives them a little insight as to how we work and stuff. So I think it'll be really cool.
Very nice. Right. Oh, hey, I pulled a pike in. Yeah, I agree. And I think that it's just such a great step. And rest assured, my friends, that nothing will change in the Discord. That is still one of our best areas for feedback. We get the broad community in there, but this is just adding on that.
Yeah, and that's really important to stress, is that the Discord, as it stands now, will still be vital and very important to the development, because there's going to be, obviously, there's thousands of players in the Discord, and that group community giving us the consensus on the feedback of the live game is very important to us. So this is going to be more targeted, more specific, kind of behind the scenes early feature testing. So they serve two different purposes.
And it's exciting times. I can't wait to see this and to get more involved with it. So there you go, my friends. The Player Council coming very, very soon. Get your names in the hat. Let's get this thing rolling. So without diverting too much, because I know there's a lot of folks right now, they're like, wait, we got Rushy and Gaz. That means that there's all kinds of stuff that we're going to talk about here. So let's talk about some of that stuff. People know.
Whenever I'm involved, there's always going to be spoilers coming for like the next patch. That's why I haven't been on this stream for so long, because Mark wouldn't let me come back on until this time. But when I'm around, we can get some more spoilers on the go.
Well, they took the cuffs off today. You're let out. They let you out of the stream jail. You're good to go, brother. And I think that's what people are looking forward to. We've had some fun out here, man. It's great to have you back out. Well, so let's talk about some of it, because there's some big stuff coming. There is a massive patch about to happen. I mean, I'm looking at everything that's in it, and I'm floored. I mean, I don't want to set expectations to the moon and back, but there's some really, really good stuff in there. On just going down this list. I mean, starting at the top. Can we talk about some of this? The fishing camera. Can we talk about that? You got me really excited with that, Rushy.
Yeah, I mean, to start off, yeah, I'm really excited about this next patch as well, because obviously we've done 3 or 4 patches this year already, but this next one, I'm not going to announce a specific date just yet, but it's not too far away. Is much chunkier. This has a very broad selection of kind of features and updates. So hopefully it's going to please a lot of players. But yeah, the fishing camera improvements that you just mentioned, that's one born from, again, player feedback. So obviously when you're fighting the fish at the moment, we've got a camera that kind of blends between what you're looking at with the fish in the water and your rod. And we've seen a lot of feedback of like, I just want the camera to track the fish, or I just want the camera to track my rod movements. So what we've done is now we've given you a slider essentially to choose how you want the camera to track those behaviors. So you can, if you want it just to track the fish, which I think a lot of players want that, you can just slide it all the way down, or you can just have it like 10%. It's up to you to kind of tailor that camera to how you want to play now.
It's awesome. I know there's people cheering watching this right now, hearing that, because I got really excited when I heard it. You guys know what that means, right? You guys are hearing that, how you're going to be able to customize your view. I hear people talking about, hey, we're only looking at the end of the rods. Hey, we're looking, we're zoomed in when you're using your float. You're going to be given so many more options here with a slider. Like, I'm sorry, I love sliders in games. It just makes my life so much better. That's exciting. That is very exciting. And this is confirmed for next patch or still being worked on?
Oh, that was done. Yeah, that one's ready to go.
That's ready to go on a patch. And again, in terms of a lot of these changes, we know players like to sometimes changes in games are not always liked by everyone. So that's why when we do make changes, we keep trying to offer options like a slider, so players can keep the original setting, or they can tweak it slightly and customize it to play into their own play style. So yeah, that's a good one that again, as mentioned, came straight from people on Discord discussing and saying, could we have something like this? Could we offer it? And again, we've took that feedback and got it in, and should hopefully have it out fairly soon.
Very nice. Very nice. Community driven. I keep saying it. Sorry.
It's where we get all our best updates, all community ones.
Yeah, well, you're making the game they want that way, right? I mean, it makes sense. It's just nice to see it actually happening. So, there we go. Sorry, guys, I see so many questions coming in, and I don't mean to miss them, but there is some stuff that I want to get through here because this is juicy. So save your questions. We'll get through them ourselves. We'll get through them once we get through this stuff. I got distracted. I got a rainbow trout. I've got a pike. I haven't got a largemouth yet. But we're working it here. We're working it. Okay, let's move down the list. Why don't you tell us a little bit about these line improvements and what that entails?
Yeah, there's a couple of things with the line improvements. I mean, one of the things that the line, as people have spotted, it doesn't actually directly interact with the water. As you know, different types of lines will actually float on top of the water. So now we've added that in on the physics side of things. And also, you probably will have noticed as well that the line itself, you physically can't see it beneath the water in the live build. So we've made sure that, again, the rendering side of things, it's visible properly, and it now reacts correctly to the physical water as well. So it's just making things look more realistic and more authentic. So yeah, looks a lot better basically.
Me and Rushy were discussing before we came live on the stream that this build is essentially quite old compared to the one we've been playing now, because it's been a little bit of a while since we branched off from our main line to bring all the latest and greatest changes in. So we keep looking at this build and going, oh, this looks strange and this looks weird, because we're so used to the very latest version. But yeah, it's good to see that so many changes are going to come in and actually improve the game. So we can't wait to get this one out.
Oh, I can't wait now. I can't wait. I haven't even tried it yet. I've been playing on this build, and I just put a ton of hours to it over the last week. So it'll be exciting to see what it looks like. I think the line changes. It's a nice touch because it's just those little tweaks that I suppose you want to add as you go, and it makes that more immersive experience, right?
Certainly.
Mike, thank you very much. What's up, man? Thank you for that. We appreciate it. It does, doesn't it, Stan? It all sounds very, very good. So, okay, we're gonna keep going. I see the questions coming. I do, and let me just one of them. I see it's out there a lot, and I see our mods have answered a few. Yes, console is still in development, and it is coming along quite nicely from what I'm told, from what I hear. We are hoping to have some solid information on when it can be expected soon, but it's boxes need to be checked through the development process. So we're not ignoring the question, but man, we get asked it so often. We know you guys want it out there, and we want you to get onto it. Plus, crossplay is going to be a whole lot of fun. Okay, without spending any more time on that, I'm sorry. I had to address that. It's always in the chat, and I just want folks to know that we see it. So, okay, this one's got me interested, and I'm very curious on how this is going to unfold. As I just went through a few of the techniques myself while casting here, is the reeling toggle. So how is the reeling toggle what is this change or addition?
This is a really simple quality of life one, but it's been asked a lot, especially in light of, people hunting diamonds more and going for legendaries where, sometimes these fights are pretty epic. They can last a good 10 minutes. And, a good chunk of that fight, you're often holding down the mouse button or the right trigger or whatever you've got it bound to on pad or keyboard. And your finger can get a little bit tired. So it's just the option of, if you want to play the game so that you can just tap the button and it just reels for you and tap it again, it stops reeling, then you can save your finger a lot of hard work with that one. And it's the same for something similar as well. We're seeing similar sort of kind of feedback on when you're twitching and jigging. Obviously, you're having to move the mouse quite a bit, or if you're playing on pad again, keep moving those sticks as you're reeling in. And again, it can become just a little bit tiresome if you're doing it all the time. So with like twitching and jigging, there'll be dedicated buttons now to perform those motions. So again, you don't have to keep holding something or keep moving something all the time. So, you could say it's a little bit lazy, but it's if you enjoy playing a lot, it's a good thing.
Yeah, but when you say is lazy, that's as you say, if you're doing it a lot, I mean that's a big quality of life. I know I've seen a lot of our folks in the community, they actually prefer the simplified cast now, even though you can get real immersive in doing the proper cast, but just because they're doing it so much.
Yeah, that's it. There was a lot of feedback from players who play long game sessions, and if you're doing the different techniques for 3, 4, 5 hours, you could get like quite in discomfort. So we wanted to offer as many options as we could to help those players out as well. So again, just more options. Players don't have to choose them, but they have the choice to if they'd like to.
Very nice, very nice. Yeah, I like that with the jigging twitching control. I can't wait to give that a try. So the next one up, we've talked about this, and I know it created quite a buzz. And I almost feel like we should be in one to show. Well, I guess we can't show it right now. The vehicle cameras. No more motion sickness for those that are greatly affected. Hey.
Yeah, I mean we've done a whole bunch of things on the vehicles lately. I think was it the 1.2.1 patch we had the changes to the camera movement to improve the motion sickness, and we've seen a really good positive reaction to that. Then I think in 1.2.3 we fixed or improved how collisions behave in the vehicles so that you don't snag on things as easily as you would do previously, so it just makes driving more comfortable. And then with the next patch, we've got a selection of vehicle cameras for you to toggle through, and that's for both the boat and the 4x4 as well. Now, this just to stress, this isn't a third-person chase camera behind the vehicles. These are a range of attached cameras. But again, we feel that they offer a much kind of less restricted perspective, and I think a lot of people are going to enjoy being able to have the camera either on top of the vehicle or in front of the vehicle, and I think gives them a little bit better, more comfortable perspective for most people.
Yeah, I think you're right. I've seen them, and I think it's a big improvement. I personally didn't have a problem with it how it was. I'll probably still drive in first person. I love it, but I think having those options, it's pretty dang cool. Very nice.
Yeah, and there was quite a bit of feedback in terms of players asking for a third person, further out camera view. And that is possibly something we could look at in the future. It just takes a lot of time. So what we can do in the meantime is just offer more options, make little tweaks, give more variation of it so that, if this is enough for players, that might be enough, but it'll give them something in the meantime while we work on some of the features that take a little bit longer to deliver.
It's keeping the player in mind, so I know I appreciate that. Very good, very good. So, well then, I probably should have tied this in with one of the ones earlier up. The bait and lure. What I'm confused on what this one is. The bait and lure.
This is what we talked about before. We were talking about some of the improvements that we've made to the diamond spawn rates, and then we've gone back and re-looked at the kind of compatibility of fish relative to the bait or the lures that you're using. So again, just so you can really target the species that you're after.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Again, that come from more feedback that we've got from players and discussing it. So we kind of thought we'd put bit more time and effort into it, and the design team have been working hard on them changes, and they're looking good. We've been testing them locally, and we're going to be getting them in this next patch. And again, once we have the player council up and running, this will be the type of thing that we'll be able to share with those players earlier to get these tuning changes and get feedback before it eventually goes live. So yeah, they should be good, and it should give players, as Rushy mentioned, more opportunity to target specific fish, as opposed to maybe getting more of a random bunch at times. So it should be good.
Nice. He said again. So that's tweaking as we go. I like that.
Yep.
Yes. No, we did. Sorry, I know I'm missing so much chat, my friends. I know. I apologize. I have a big list, as you guys can see, and I'm trying to touch base on these because it's juicy, man. It's real juicy. I kind of want to go to the bottom, and you guys are looking at the list. You know why I want to go to the bottom, but let's just get through them before we get there. It's almost like the best is saved for last, but this is all good. Okay, so moving down our list, the quick wheel. The quick wheel is...
Yeah. Now, I don't think you've seen this. But,
No.
I think, as you know, if you press Q at the moment, it brings up what we call kind of the quick bar, the quick menu on the left hand side, and from there you can select a range of options as well as do your quick chat and your remotes and things. Well, we discovered that it's not necessarily the fastest way to do things. I see Gaz, using it right now saying howdy inside the game, but like you get in, I don't know, Apex Legends or a lot of other first person shooters and the like, where you hold a button, brings up a wheel, and then you can quickly select the items and dig down between layers of menus. So it's just a faster, easier, more convenient way on both pad and mouse to either pull up an emote or pull up a quick chat, and it will remember your last used ones, so you can reuse your favorites quickly as well. So it's just, again, quality of life improvements, and we definitely want to add more functionality to that wheel over time. To start off with, it's just going to focus on the emotes and the quick chat, but down the line we want to introduce more layers to it as well, because it's just a very convenient way to access stuff. Versus having to go deeper into the kind of list-based menus.
Love it. I love it. I can't wait to try it. You're right. I haven't seen it. I don't know how you guys have hid this from me. It's we added something like that not too long ago over in our other game, in the Hunter, and it's been quite handy. Yeah, quite handy, especially with the controller players. That's when I was playing over there on controller. I was like, oh my god, this is so much easier.
Yeah.
I quite like the controller support in this game. I toggle between the two. If I want to hit the couch that's behind my setup here, when I want to just kick back, this is the perfect game for it. I'll grab my gamepad. But when I'm getting real serious, I'm sitting here right now. I've got my mouse and keyboard. So nice when I'm on the gamepad, there's going to be those options. Good stuff.
Yeah, I think it's going to help a lot with the likes of quick chat as well, because there's a long list that you've got to kind of scroll through. The sort of new wheel that we've got in is going to be a lot quicker for you to communicate and help with a lot of that stuff as well. So yeah,
and as you say, as we add more to it, as we add more to it, it becomes more of a necessity, and we are adding some more quick chat lines and some emotes as well to the game in the next patch. So I expect a few more things to use inside the game, which is cool.
Nice, nice. Well, speaking of the game, so then I know something that's become quite popular for a lot of folks, and when you're in the reserve, it's making it feel very populated. You're seeing what others are getting. The activity feed updates. How's that going to pan out? Like, what does that look like with this update?
Yeah, so right now, obviously, you get these reports which pop in from the side of the screen, which we just see Fossil 357 just caught a mountain whitefish,
Yeah.
but they pop in one at a time. So it's a kind of one in, one off type of approach. So what we're doing with this is we'll actually change it to a kind of a more traditional, almost like text chat style list. So you can have multiple entries in there at once. You can change the text size, how often they come in, you can filter each type of activity feed. Some of those options are already there, but we're expanding them, making sure you've got full control over things. So yeah, it's just a better presentation of that, so you can see what's going on, so things don't get queued up in the same way that they do currently. And longer term, we might want to add some form of chat, proper chat inside there potentially. That's not for the next update, but we're definitely looking at that, and having a proper feed will be important to delivering that.
I imagine there's going to be some challenges with that, knowing that console's going to be added and be playing with in a cross play setting. You'd have to probably incorporate something like that to be able to work with controller as well, right? It's not so simple as just putting it in.
Wish it was. But yeah, text chat is definitely a more challenging, because there's areas like profanity and all these other things that you have to consider as well, making sure that it remains a safe environment for everyone to come along and play. I know we've got a lovely community. I wouldn't expect too many bad things to be said, but we have to put in all those protections and things to go along with it.
Yeah, this is the internet.
It will happen, but again, it's another big community request that we've seen the votes on it and stuff in the Discord channels. It's a lot of stuff that people would like in the game, and I think it'll also help new players as well, because it allows them to just ask questions in the game and discuss and make friendships and stuff like that. So it's one we've been eager to get in the game for a while, but it's just going to take a little while to implement. So yeah, not for this next patch, but hopefully maybe one or two after that one. We'll have it in and ready.
Awesome. Something to look forward to, folks. Something to look forward to. I just wanted to address it because I do see it talked about, and just because a lot of people just think you flip a switch and things are in.
I wish that was the case.
Oh, geez, that scared me.
I'm just moving. I think we've potentially overfished the area a little bit though, because if you do stay in one spot too long, you can exhaust the fish around the area. So it is a good idea. Every now and again, if you're not getting many bites, make a move and start recasting again.
Pro tips. Pay attention, folks. Pro tips. Oh, goodness. No, we were not talking about underwater camera. I know that's been quite a controversial topic there. Not to say that would never happen, but I don't believe there's been any plans for it. It was simply a discussion that happened with the Discord. Saw you bring that up there. Okay, oh God, my goodness, I can't believe there's still so much more to get through here, and I really want to get there. There's guys, chat. I'm telling you, there's something real juicy. I gotta keep it moving, or we're not gonna have time to get through it. Okay, so this one's kind of cool for those of you who like to get really immersive. There is something coming that I quite appreciate. Like right now, watching right here, I don't need all this information up on the screen. So what's the Hide UI? It's pretty straightforward, I would imagine.
It's self-explanatory. Yeah. I mean, largely it's for players who actually like to take pictures or be more immersed as they travel around the world and don't want any of the clutter of the HUD. I mean, we tried our best to try and minimize the amount of information and overlays on screen to keep the as authentic and as immersive as possible, but we've seen people wanting to take the screenshots and not having to chop off the bottom of the screen or something. So it's just a simple toggle. Press a button, hides the UI, press another button, comes back. Yep. Dead easy.
There you go.
Just a nice little thing.
It was a big setup. And I see there's some more quality of life stuff, and I appreciate these. I don't know that there's much really information needed given on it, but the vehicle spawn, the last use, that's kind of nice, being able to just take you right back so you don't have to go through and swap. I think that's a
Exactly, because those users who have bought 20 or plus, liveries inside there, and their favorite one might happen to be at the bottom of that list. You'd have to, every time you go to a vehicle spawner, scroll all the way to the bottom to find the one you want. Now it just keeps your most, so your last used one up top, so you can just quickly jump back into your favorite all the time.
Very nice. And that is a big quality of life. Especially once that list grows. And you giving a spoiler there? You said 20 different liveries? Is there?
Damn, we've got in game now, but yeah, we're always building more. Because we do want to, like the local souvenir shop. Everyone knows that's a feature that was added to Golden Ridge. Norway doesn't have one just yet, but of course, no doubt, and in the future that will arrive as well. That's not for the next patch, but it is something we're pulling together because we want to make sure we've got a good collection of new content and gear for you to unlock in game.
Nice. Hey, just before we go further, twitching's the best, correct, for largemouth bass? Doing a twitch?
It is. It's the most effective, yeah.
And a constant or a stop and go?
Constant.
Interesting. Okay. Just curious. I haven't had a lot of largemouth bass in game or IRL. It's kind of neat to learn this stuff. So thought I would ask. Had to ask. Throwing that out there for chat for those of you that are getting into the King of the Catch this week. Okay. So more quality of life. This one's really cool. It kind of set when we were talking about this previously. I was quite excited for this. It may seem to some to be a minor thing, but it is, in my eyes, a big addition, and that is the map filters. Now, without setting expectations too crazy, do you want to maybe put a little something on there? Oh, I've got one chasing me here. What do you think? What do they look like?
Yeah,
the filters.
Yeah, the filter. Essentially, we have quite a few icons on the map. So, and it gets a little bit cluttered at times when you're often zoom in and you kind of sit on top of each other, not very nicely at times. So we've been looking at a few different ways of solving that. We've got in some cool tech at the moment that kind of moves them around and reorders them so they look nicely. But we've also added options to be able to switch off ones that you don't need to know anymore, so you can just have you can essentially edit the map to just point out the things that you want. So maybe you just want the shop, or maybe you just want the mission boards or stuff like that. So it's sort of decluttering the map a little bit, let's say. And then also as well, we looked at further feedback from the community where they discussed the ability to maybe mark the map themselves with various things. So we're kind of working on that as well. We might not get all of these updates in for the very next patch, but it's like a continuous iteration of where we'll improve them a bunch now, and then we'll get more feedback from everyone, and then we'll keep adding to it. But there was people mentioning it'd be good to be able. I think someone mentioned it in chat as well before. It'd be good to be able to mark an area on the map where like you've found fish before, and you can kind of keep an eye on certain areas. So yeah, we thought it'd be good to add something like that. So that should be quite cool when it's in, I think.
Yeah, it'll be very, very cool. I think, chat, you can see why I'm excited for that and how it opens the door and just being able to, because I see it around the community. Where can I get a car? Where's the closest boat launch? Being able to go through those filters like that, it's going to be huge. So I was excited about that. Again, big quality of life. And I think actually a lot of these that are left on the list here are big quality of life. The game optimizations, I don't know if there's a lot you can really say towards that and what's being tweaked or just general.
Yeah, well, one of the things that we want to do and always want to continue improving is the performance of the game. We've heard feedback, particularly on those on the kind of min spec sort of end, is that they're struggling to hit the higher frame rates. So we've been working a lot behind the scenes and optimization, making sure that it's taxing your CPU and GPU less, and hopefully using a little bit less memory as well. Part of that has actually come through some changes we've made to the water. It's called water tessellation, and essentially it's how we kind of split up and break the water into polys. And it's weird because it's more optimal now, and the water is more detailed, which is it sounds like it's the wrong way around. It should look worse to run better. But in this instance, we've been able to improve the visual fidelity of the water, increase the amount of tessellation, so more polys up close, while still reducing the overall load of the water system. So optimization sometimes doesn't always mean cuts. It can sometimes mean improvements, as well as making the game run better. And of course, if you're on a higher spec PC, hopefully this means you might be able to up your preference from high to ultra, or increase the resolution. It just gives you more flexibility on depending on what PC you've got.
Very nice, very nice. Optimization, it's always key, and I don't have any issues on here, but I do see, like for instance, my daughter, she was playing this with me over the last week, and she's on a lower end PC, so she'll greatly appreciate it. Yes, no, we did it.
That's it.
Sorry.
Yeah, I was just saying that we did notice there was a bunch of people who'd mentioned performance, and we want players to be able to play the game in its best light, which, if someone hasn't got the most powerful PC, we still want them to have at least a good experience of playing. So we're optimizing as and where we can, and that's going to be a continuous thing. Again, there'll be a one bunch of optimization for this patch, and then we'll continue to do that with each patch going forward, and also possibly looking at some further graphical settings, what we can allow players to tweak, so they can get even more performance out if they're on lower spec PC. So it is something that we're constantly working on to improve, and will with time get better as well
as the game evolves. Fantastic, beautiful. So, man, I should have moved this one around. New emotes, we talked about that in the chats. We touched base on that. Yeah. We talked about the diamond tweaks, always looking for that balance, right? Just to clarify, is that across both reserves?
Let me just double check. I've got my notes here. So I think just Norway, the diamond tweaks this time.
Gotcha.
The next patch.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, I've got it here now. So it's the Xander and the Bream are the two fish that we've been focusing on a little bit, because they are spawning, but the catch rates are very low for those two, in particular in Norway.
Right. Yeah, it is about that balance, chat. You guys have seen it. If you don't want it to be too easy, but you want it to be attainable, and not like fish for 3 months to find it. I mean, although that's not such a bad thing. I wouldn't mind that if it took me a while to catch something. It's nice to have that epic win, so to speak.
Yeah, there's a fine line between that and frustration, I think, for players. So we hear people when we see some of them numbers are low, so we're like, oh, okay, maybe we should tune that a bit better. So yeah, some good changes coming in that regard, I think.
Very, very much so. And I mean, I guess with changes and such, it's needless to say, various, there's going to be bug fixes, there's going to be tweaks to different systems and stuff, or to the different mechanics. But is there anything in particular that stands out in your mind? It's
a tough one, because like as I was speaking with Rushy before, this is essentially almost like although we've patched the game twice in the last couple of weeks, this is essentially a month or two's old build now. So in that time, we've fixed over 150 random minor little quality of life bugs or glitches or things like that. So it's gonna not only be a bunch of like sort of maybe not so much features, but a bunch of quality of life updates and fixes, but it will be 150 random bug fixes as well. So it should just in general be a much more polished game after this patch, which is it's going to be good to see. It should be more performance. It should have like the sort of radial wheel and map filter and icons. There's so many things going into this patch that overall I think it's going to really sort of give players a much better version of the game. And it's not too long away now, a couple more weeks, and then we should have it ready. But we just don't want to rush it, because we don't want to release it with any issues in it. So we just want to make sure it's polished, and get it out to players.
And I'm the poor sucker as to write the patch notes.
Rushy's going to be busy this time around, because they're going to be so many.
It's a long one, yeah. As Gaz kind of points out, there's well over 100 separate bug fixes and things already, and more to come. So I don't know if I want to write up every single minor bug fix, so I'll try and focus on the ones that matter the most to you. But yeah, it's a chunky one.
Yeah, this is a really big update by the sounds of it for what we're seeing here. That's exciting.
Yeah, it's that we've probably done that many now that there's going to be some that we just forget we've fixed. So the players who haven't played for a while who come back onto this patch will probably realize more things than we'll even put in a patch notes, because it's
Right.
just been so much time since then. So yeah, it should be a really good update, this one.
Awesome. Now I gotta get this out. This is killing me right now. This is absolutely killing me. You want to tell us anything about any sort of legendary things on your plates? Any legends you'd like to talk about?
Yeah. Well, so we've seen the fantastic reaction to the legendary fish in Golden Ridge, and it genuinely is a thrill each time a new spawn happens and people are trying to hunt it down and work out where it is and try and get there first. And everyone knows that we're going to be bringing the legendary fish to Norway as well. Well, we're getting nearer to that time. Not this next patch, but we've got the fish lined up. We know who they are and what fish species.
Oh.
So I guess we can mention them, right?
Yeah.
Before we get shut
down.
Guys
said that's right. Yeah, I mean, people must know that we're working on them. As Rushy said, they take a little while to come in. It won't be in this patch, but they will be hopefully not too far after. Rushy, judging by what we catch up, they need to be tuned. Design folks need to, make sure they're right, and obviously we still need to tidy up some of the art side of things as well, and the animation. There's so many things that go into the development of these things, which is why it takes so much time. But it shouldn't be too far in the future.
Because one of the big things with each of the legendaries as well is that we always try to make sure they've got unique traits of some form, so they have some sort of bespoke behavior to them, so that they feel quite distinct and different to the other fish inside the game. So obviously they're going to be bigger, but also they should also fight differently, and we need to make sure we pick all the right hideouts around Norway as well for you to try and find them, get them all in rotation as well. So yeah, there's a huge amount of work, but yeah, we've got 3 coming, much like in Golden Bridge. First up is these are. Oh, by the way, we'll need to get Ben on here. He can tell you some of the backstories behind them, because we'd like to give them all a little bit lore and as to why these are legendary fish in each of the reserves. But I'll save that for Ben. But we've got Hal Paul the Dominator, who's a Northern Pike.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
Nice. Sorry.
I don't know if I'm going to pronounce this next one right, but it's Spielfin, and that's the Atlantic salmon. So that's going to be a big boy. And then we've got finally Stor Henrik, who's a burbot. So there are 3 legendaries for Norway, and we'll get Ben on soon. He can tell you all about them, and we can tell you a bit more about the traits and what's unique about them.
I had so much fun when we first revealed these, and Ben came out. If you guys missed that, you should go back and watch that stream. Ben had all the backstory. It was telling you everything about these, and so we're gonna make that happen. That'll be a fun stream. So we've got the Dominator, Kale Paul. Is that what you said? Kale Paul the Dominator.
Yes.
Kale Paul the Dominator. Very fitting for a pike, right? I mean, hey, pike they're a fun catch, right? I caught one here earlier. They're good fight. I think the Dominator works. And Spielfin.
Don't ask me the pronunciation.
Yeah, I know.
It's my best take. Ben
is definitely the person for this.
He's the man for it. Yep. And Stor Henrik. I'm excited about this. I can't wait to hear more. I think, honestly, my friends, if you haven't tried the legendary fish, what you've seen right now is if you go into a reserve, it'll show you if something's active, and it's on the community to come together to figure out which fish, which legendary it is, and where it is. And I think that's the best part of this. I love to sit back and watch as our community sleuths it out and starts fitting all the pieces like a puzzle together. It's really turned out to be a pleasure to watch these legendary. I can't wait to see more. So now, but just to clarify, this is not coming in this big February update. We're looking at this sometime in the future. No date yet, correct?
Yeah.
Hopefully no dates is yet.
Yeah, because this end of Feb one, it's not too far away. But then the next patch after that, hopefully, will be the one with the Norway legendary fishing. Again, we
Yeah,
can,
and then
as we get closer to the time, we can kind of confirm all that. As with anything, this is live development. You know, things can change all the time, and everything we've talked about in this patch is fairly locked in. But again, things can change last minute until those patch notes are out, and we've kind of said this is it. We can't say if it's definite and everything.
yeah, that's a good disclaimer and get out of jail card, that Rushy, just in case any of these things don't make it. Because that's
Yeah.
the thing is, we've got so many things that go into the patches that it's we want to obviously tell the community whenever we can about as much of these things, but we don't want to set false expectations as well if we don't deliver on some of the things. So it might look as if a feature's done, everything's going fine. We're about to set the patch and then we find something last minute and it's like, oh, it's going to take a week to fix that. So we have to take it out of this patch, move it into the next patch. So that's why sometimes it's not always as easy as it seems to discuss some of these things. But so far, so good in terms of you know, the stuff that's gotten ready for this patch. And in terms of the new legendary fish, the last trait, I was speaking to one of our game coders, Chris. The last trait was finished today, so it's almost in the hands to go over to design, and then it'll take a couple of weeks worth of tuning and balancing and bug fixing and polishing and all that type of thing. So with any luck, yeah, you'd probably the patch after this next one. Be cool.
Very nice. There's something to look forward to. I think everybody by now, especially our regular players that come out and support, I think they understand that, you know, you guys are taking the time to come out here and give us this information, and quite often too. So I know nobody's holding it, you know, say this is, we're holding you to your word. This needs to happen. I think everybody understands. I know that that's something I've learned being in this position, is just how you guys want to show everything and you want to tell, and you want, it's like you guys, you want to put it all out there, but you're going to get your wrist slapped from.
I'm the worst. I just want to tell everyone about all of the future things coming up. But no, I mean, on that note, we should probably add that we are looking at ways of kind of trying to show the community, you know, some of our longer term plans, and that's hopefully something that we'll be able to show soon.
Okay, like a
We don't know
roadmap.
exactly what. Yeah, not so much a roadmap with dates and times on, but essentially like something similar to that, where we would say, look, some of these features are going to take us months to make, but just so you guys know, we are actually working on them. You know, this is kind of what we're aiming towards, and it'll also give the community the ability to kind of feedback on that and go, oh well, that's really important to us, and we really feel like this is a thing that would benefit the game a lot. Kind of similar to the game suggestions channel in Discord. You know, we see a lot of upvotes on certain things, but you know, some of them things take months and months and months to make, and some of them just take a couple of weeks to make. So we have to make decisions on the dev team as which ones we can get out to the community. But I think it would be nice to be able to let the community know that, you know, some of the bigger things we are actually working on. It's just they take a long time to actually come out. So yeah, we
Yeah.
should hopefully be able to share something more on that one soon.
Yeah, we're working on that now. It'd be a great way to just allow players to have one central place to go to, hopefully, where they can kind of see, oh, right, okay, I don't need to ask or complain about why isn't this the feature? Where is this inside the game? It's like, well, it's kind of, it's on the roadmap for the future. You can see that we're working on it, or you can see we've acknowledged like a feature or a bug, and we can say, look, we're going to investigate this as well. So it's just a better way to kind of, you know, keep kind of loop going between us and the community about, you know, what's coming in the near future. As Gaz said, it's not going to be an explicit roadmap with dates and exact features, but I think the visibility should help a lot and improve communications. And you won't need to, you know, put 101 suggestions in the suggestion field, knowing the fact we might already be working on quite a few of them.
Right. At that point, it wouldn't be a suggestion; it would just be support. It would support
Yeah.
for what you guys have already got on the books there. So that's good. I like that. I like that idea. I understand it's hard to put dates to it, because I think a lot of folks watching do as well. So
Always.
being able to find a way to share and to get around that is, I think that'd be appreciated. Okay, so oh my goodness, I can't believe that's 50 minutes already. We're gonna try and get some questions from chat here, because I've seen you guys. You've had so many coming through, and I know we've missed so many of them, because you can see it took that long for the beginning of the stream to get through what is coming in this next update, and I think maybe there was a little slip earlier. We're looking at a couple weeks, 2-3 weeks is what we're aiming for. Is that what you said, Gaz?
Yeah, wait, yeah, about 2 weeks.
We'll
Towards
just
the end of
say
this month.
we'll just say February.
Yeah.
February's a good
Yeah.
There you go.
We're aiming to get it out in the next few weeks, yeah, because but we just don't want to do it too soon because it needs time, a little bit more polish, a little bit more bug testing, but it's close. It's getting there, so I think it won't be too far now.
So, something to look forward to, guys. And don't hold that to him. You saw how I put him under the gun there. Don't hold that to him. if something happens and they need to push it another week, I don't want to be getting tagged. But Jaxy, you said. Oh goodness. Let's see here. So look at the chat now. Will there be a different way to get money other than to level up?
This is a good discussion point because it's something we've been talking about a lot internally. And at the moment, we've got a leveling system which essentially rewards you for leveling up. Whenever you level up, well, there are also instances of partway through levels, you also get cash rewards as well. But we are looking at kind of revising or overhauling quite a bit of our progression systems. We've seen a lot of players who have reached ridiculous levels, 200, level 300 plus, and they've invested a lot of time and effort. And essentially, they've exhausted everything inside the game. They've bought every item from the store and even the local souvenirs. And as much as I think we can try to keep up pace with them, we need to make sure there's more things for players to work towards, more systems to engage with. So this work isn't going to, be in the next patch or two, but we are actively looking at kind of changing a lot that we do with XP and credits and rewards. So you can definitely expect a big overhaul in the future. Yeah.
Well, that was juicy. I didn't expect that when I asked your question, Noel. Holy, that is juicy. That sounds like some big additions.
Long term.
It is big. Yeah, I guess that's one thing to add on to that, because due to the size and the scope of those changes, they might take a while to come in. But again, it's just more looking at how players play the game. How can we iterate on it? How can we give them more things to do? So we're constantly, we're never sort of just sitting on what the game is now. We're always thinking, how can we improve it in any way? And there's been some feedback from players who'd mentioned, it'd be nice to be rewarded, in different ways, as been asked there. So yeah, hopefully with a little bit of time, we can get to a much stronger place in that regard in the game. Which would be good.
And they're exactly the sort of things we want to try and communicate on that kind of that roadmap almost of what's to come next. Let people know, look, these are the sort of things that we are working on. Just don't expect them anytime soon, but know that we've seen the comments or concerns or or people suggesting ways to improve things, and this areas that we are actively kind of working on.
I don't know what to say. I'm a little floored. I think that's some pretty cool info you guys have thrown out there. That's pretty juicy, and I agree. Yeah, this is stuff, guys, that again, I see chat. Everything takes time. Everything takes time. Are there any considerations for bottom fishing options?
Oh, funny you should ask that. Oh, yeah. Again, there's a lot of sort of game features that we want to add. A lot of community requests. That's one of the highest ones actually, from in terms of fishing techniques. But we these things just take a while. But there is plans to keep adding features to the game, to keep adding as many different sort of fishing techniques, and to give it us as much well-rounded game as we can possibly get. So yeah, there is definitely plans for more fishing things in the game.
More fishing techniques, because as we inevitably go to new locations, add new fish, we'll need more techniques as well. So yes, you can definitely expect things along those lines. Again, without giving away specifics, there are lots of exciting things coming.
Yes.
I think, to kind of add on to that bombshell, and as we're in Spoilersville anyway, I think someone asked about new reserves. Obviously, we've only very recently released our last one, Norway, which was awesome. It's gone down really well. But of course, we're always at work. We're always doing stuff. So there's a good chance you might see other new places in the future. But again, it takes a little bit of time to kind of put these things together, especially things like new reserves because they're so big. But yeah, we're working on a lot of things, a lot of cool things this year.
Sorry, new reserves where?
Definitely not. I'm definitely not getting
Nice
into
try.
that. There's no way. I'm already sort of like, yeah, I'm not saying a word on that.
Oh, it was worth a shot. I tried, chat. I tried. Logan, yes, we did talk about the console earlier. We just don't have a date to offer. It is coming along, and it will be cross-play. Just to throw that out there. Oh, actually, I did see that question earlier. So we would have cross-play when console comes. Will there be cross-progression? Like, could you go from your Xbox account and jump onto Steam and have the same character, or is that a consideration?
No, it's
Hard to do.
That's one of the things I would have loved to support, but unfortunately, that's a large additional amount of work. So it could be something we support down the line, but there's a lot of collaboration needed between the platforms and our servers to put things in the cloud, and it's not something initially. Well, obviously, everyone on every platform can all play together and interact with one another,
Yes.
but your saves will be on that platform. So if you play on PlayStation, for example, you won't be able to take that save and put it on your PC Steam version.
Right. Right. I mean, that makes sense. I'm not going to complain. I'm just glad to be able to play with my friends on consoles. I just think that's amazing. I can't wait for it personally. Oh, Madara. So there's a good one, and that's something that I've seen talked about, and I think I've heard talked about at work. Clubs. Would there be fishing clubs, club events, tournaments, that sorts of thing? We've talked about competitions. We've talked about that in previous streams. But what are your thoughts on, clubs or something to that effect?
Clubs. Rushy worked on a game where a club, a drive club.
A drive
Sorry,
club.
just easy joke.
Yeah.
Easy joke to get in. I guess in terms of obviously competitions, and we have the King of the Catch competition, and that's one of the big asked for things in the community. Things like leaderboards and competitions and stuff. And again, it's something that we definitely want to offer that type of thing going forward. It just takes a time to get these things in, but we're definitely looking at things like competitions and that side of things. In terms of clubs, yeah, I mean, Russia, nothing's sort of out of the picture, but again, it's just another large undertaking, things like that, isn't it?
It is. I like the concept, as Gas pointed out before. I've kind of worked on a couple of titles, one specific which was all based around clubs. So I know the appeal and the allure and the things that they can bring, working together as a club to try and beat other clubs, for example, is a great way to try and compete. So I think there's opportunities there. That's definitely not something we've kind of started work on yet, but we are starting in that kind of design phases now of looking at the kind of the competitive and collaborative sides of the multiplayer experiences, because as Gaz said, we've got the King of the Catch, but that's a self-organized thing, and it's fantastic that's up and running. But we need to, add more formal ways to do these types of things in game, allow for those kind of one-on-one competitions or self-organized competitions and those type of things, and also have goals for the community together to work towards as well. So these are all areas that we're definitely looking into and want to expand upon, but just we're not quite ready to talk much more about them just yet.
Well, that's understandable. That's juicy. Hey, what you're hearing, guys, is these things they're in consideration, and as Rushy himself has said, anything is possible at this stage. If you guys want to get your voices heard, for now, where the best place to be to do this would be the Discord. Jump on and get into the suggestion forums and give us your best ideas. Go through, upvote others. It's the best way to get your voice heard and to actually help make this game the game you want to play. We've got some great other places that we all gather together. We got Steam, we've got Reddit, we've got Facebook. We're all over the place. We've got the brand new player council that is coming very, very soon. It's all up. You just got to go through and fill out the survey. Get involved. Get involved. That's what I would love to say to all of our passionate players. We would love for you to be a part of it, to get your voice in there and to help shape things moving forward. This has gone too quick. We've had some. I mean, I've caught everything but a largemouth. I've caught smallmouth. I've caught pike. I've caught rainbow. But I've had a lot of fun fishing here today with you boys. Thank you guys for coming to join. I know it's been a little bit, and I know you guys are busy. Taking your time out to come and hang out with the community is greatly appreciated. Thank you, Rushy. Thank you, Gaz.
Yeah, it's our
Always a
pleasure.
pleasure.
I enjoyed it. Yeah, cool.
Looking forward to our next fishing adventures. Probably sooner rather than later, my friends. We're here every Wednesday. Make sure to come back and join us next week. Until then, we'll catch you in the Discords. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. Amazing stream. Appreciate you all.
Yes, folks. Bye bye.